Hello and welcome to Microsoft Hates Greg. My name is Greg Deckler, and today we're going to be talking about the lost chapter that is. So, in Power BI Cookbook, third edition, there was actually a chapter 14, Administering and Governing Power BI. It was actually originally chapter 10, but basically way late in the game, like right before it was published, they came back to me and said, "Hey, we need to get this down to 600 pages, and we need to cut a chapter. What chapter, and we'll make it an online chapter. So what chapter is the best one to chop, essentially?" And I went, there were two different ones that I was considering, but I felt that this one probably applied to the least number of Power BI users that were out there. So that's the reason why administering and governing Power BI, the original chapter 10, was dropped from the edition, and made an online chapter so we could fit it into 600 pages and get the book printed in color, which I thought was really important, something that I really was excited about. So as you can see, chapter 14, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different uh, recipes in here, completely been rewritten from the second edition, even if some of the recipes are named the same or similar. So you can see, accessing the admin portal. We talk, so some of the things like we talk about, this, that there was some coverage of fabric in here, and things like that, as well as the treatment of fabric and some of the licensing and other things like that. So let's see, administering tenant settings, right? How to do that, and what recommendations and best practices for it. Um, they're analyzing usage, so getting different reports and monitoring reports and all of that sort of stuff. Let's see, governing custom visuals. There's Deneb. That was not an accident. I'm a big fan of Deneb. So I use that as the custom visual in terms of when you're specifying which things are organizational visuals and things like that. So controlling gateway installations. There's account. So this is a good example of documenting semantic models, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So it's a good example of, so if you're on the fence about whether you want to purchase the book, or what is the content of the book, how is it, what are the recipes like? This is a good representative example of the book. So I'll have the link for this down in the description of the video. There is, and because it came at it so late, it took me a little bit of time to get the GitHub repository reorganized. So, I had to move stuff from chapter 11 to chapter 10, chapter 12 to chapter 11, et cetera, and move things around. There actually is content for chapter 14. Not all of it is actually used. For example, this connection.pbitool.json file. What this actually does, this was in a recipe early in one of the first drafts for the chapter. What it actually does is it adds this little icon right here. If you drop it into your external tools directory, it'll add an external tool right here with the my profile picture on it. And when you click it, what it does, it actually brings up, and so here is your here is your server right here, and then here is your database, right? So it's a way to get a connection string. If you need to know your connection string for another external tool, or you want to connect to it via SQL Server Management Studio, this is an easy way to grab it. So I think it's not the world's best external tool, but basically all it does, I thought it was a cool, simple way that would work for pretty much anybody that's out there. So essentially what it is, it's just, here's the JSON, right? So it just puts a path to Windows Explorer.exe, and then feeds it a parameter of going to Bing search with a query of %server%, and then space %database %, right? And so that's all it does. And then it shows up, your server, and then your database, so you can have your connection string and all that. So there you go. There it is, the lost chapter for Power BI Cookbook 3rd edition. I was expecting that they were going to actually include like a QR code or something for how to get to this chapter, but I've looked through the entire book. I can't find anything. So now you know that this chapter exists, and again, the link will be in the description on how you can get access to it. And this is, anybody with or without the book can get access to this, I guess. And that'll give you a good idea of the kind of content that's in the book and how the recipes are structured, etc. So that is all I had for this video. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.